Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maroon and Gray Saturday Show. Here, I've got Sam Dykes. I can't wait to talk to him about the new newspaper we got going on here at the school at White County High School. So we'll be talking about that here in just a minute. This is the 10th edition of the Maroon and Gray Saturday Show, right? So we've made it for 10 episodes so far, and hopefully many more to come. Very excited about all of that, but it's been a lot of fun. Had a lot of cool guests so far. It's just so excited to be here, especially with you guys out there here in Sparta, White County, around the state, maybe even around the world. You know, I've done a show before where I actually had a military veteran who was stationed in Japan. He was like, "Please make sure you do the show. I want to see my son on the show." I was like, "Absolutely," right? So that's what we're here to do here, bringing you stories and different things. And today it's really kind of neat. We had to postpone archery, but we should have archery in the next couple of weeks. We had bowling on last week.
Okay.
So this week we've got football, but then we have this brand new newspaper that started. Now, is it called? It's called the Spartan Voice.
The Spartan Voice. That's right.
Okay, nice. Now you're Sam Dykes. Now what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore, okay. Now, whose idea was it to start the Spartan Voice?
Coach Drew Haston coached the soccer team.
Okay. Now, do you play soccer as well?
I do not. I play baseball. I used to play for his brother, Ryan
That's
Haston.
That's right. I remember that. Now, of course, we'll be having baseball here in the spring. Better make a appearance for that too, for sure. But that's all. Now, was it a student idea? Was it Coach Haston's idea?
Coach Haston went to college with for a news writing, journalism degree or whatever, and he just loved it. He wrote for the newspaper at Tech. He wants to get more people involved, so he sent out an email September maybe, like, if anybody is interested in joining the news writing club, please email me back or sign up for this Google Doc or whatever. It's like, I would love to do that. I want to be a sports journalist when I grow up. So I was like, this would be a perfect opportunity. I love Coach Haston. He's a great guy, gives some good advice. So
what I'm saying about Coach Haston now, my assistant coach, Coach Ferris, Courtney Ferris, she's actually right next door to his class.
Yes.
So a lot of times right before school was ending, like I'd be done with my ESL students or different things like that, and I would go down there to talk to her about girls soccer, or we're getting ready for the game. And I swear, it just seems like every time I peek my head into Coach Haston's room, man, y'all are reading something deep. Y'all are talking about just good stuff. Is that not one of the best classes in school?
Oh, it's amazing. I had him last year for honors English. It was incredible.
That's awesome. I mean, he just seems like students love his class.
Yes.
They study hard material. It's not just the easy stuff, the hard material. I mean, his class, he just seems like he's just a really good English teacher. And I'm so glad he's kind of expanded this, wanting to get you guys in journalism. So now, okay, have we had a paper for the school specifically in the past?
Back when Mr. Wilson, our principal, was there, him and Mr. Officer both wrote for a school newspaper.
Okay.
And I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called, but we did have a school newspaper way back when, and we haven't had it in way too long.
Gotcha.
And so we brought it back, and we're really excited about it.
Now, was the name of the old paper the one you have now, or is it something different now? I mean, I know it's the Spartan Voice, but
it was the same name as our yearbooks.
Okay, yes. Okay. So it coincided with that.
Yes, and so we want to take that, but yearbooks already had it copyrighted.
Right,
so we can't steal that from them. It'd be the same thing. So,
right, I got you.
So we put out a poll, and after 2 weeks of arguing it out, Spartan Voice is what we came up with, and we seemed to like it.
Okay. Now, was that a poll amongst the club or amongst the class?
Amongst the news writing club, yes.
Now, how many members do you have in the club right now, you think?
Let's see. When we had our first meeting back in September, there was 50-ish people that were interested.
Right.
I'd say we probably have 15 or 20 that are sitting here writing stuff for us now, or be writing stuff for us in the springtime when more stuff picks up for that. But yeah, we've got probably 24 writers, photographers, designers for the website and stuff.
No, I remember writing an article or writing a game preview or a game recap. I think I sent that to, or maybe the season recap. Amia Heath. Amia is one of the members, is that correct?
seems like that.
Yes, right, yes, yeah, I mean it. But look, that's awesome. Now, okay. So, will this be something that y'all do will y'all produce an edition once a week, once a month,
It's a weekly, it goes on a weekly basis. If there's no stories for a week, it'll come out every 2 weeks, or if we can't get somebody to talk to us, it'll be every 2 weeks, but we plan for it to be a weekely thing.
Like, it's one of y'all's stories you thought about, like, how did Coach Moore get the name Nixon? Like, what kind of name is that, right? Like, Nixon. No, it's actually a middle name, by the way. My great uncle had the name Nixon, so that's where it came from. But yeah, how do you get that and red hair at the same time? Who knows, right? That could be a week when it's like low news, like we have nothing else to talk about.
Going on. Yeah.
Nixon, red hair, what's the connection, right? So yes, but and girls soccer,
And just tie it all in.
all it in, right? And he speaks Spanish, right? So, but no, that'd be great. No, so. Now, it's not just going to be about sports, though, correct?
No. We, clubs, activities, we're hoping to have opinion pieces, blogs and stuff.
Gotcha.
Just a little bit of everything.
So maybe in a way, it's the print version of what we're doing on this show.
Yes.
There you go. Look at that. There you go. Way to tie the whole thing in here. You got the expositor, the Maroon and Gray Saturdays, or the Maroon and Gray Show, because we're actually expanding it now. We will make that announcement here soon. But the Maroon and Gray Show, and now the Spartan Voice. Basically, people are going to know what's going on at the White County High School, and what a time to be a White County Warrior, right? Has there ever been a better time? I don't think
I doubt it.
I doubt it, right? Sports, academics, it seems like everything's running smoothly and awesome. And it's just such a family feel. I mean, last night at the ball game, the community just came out. They cheered. They were there the whole time. The band, the cheerleaders, the crowd. It was just an amazing playoff atmosphere. But that's what I being new here, have come to expect now, because that's just how White County seems to be. And it just seems like a great family feel, and it's just a wonderful time to be a Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
Or a Warrior. Right, yeah, there you go. Now, so this first week, when I was talking to Mr. Wilson,
yes.
I was in the office when I saw you.
Yes.
And he was telling me about this really cool article y'all had about a former football player from the 1950s.
1954 season, that's right.
Okay, and there's a connection between him now and our current starting running back.
That is true. Bobby Price, our 1954 All-American football player, graduated from here in 1955 and then went to the University of Tennessee. He had our school record of 2,181 rushing yards. That was absolutely shattered this season by Malachi Dow.
Wow. But it's taken that long.
That long. It stood for forever.
That's amazing. And you also got to think, too, we do a lot of plays where it can go one way or the other, like with the zone read and stuff. So you got to think he was setting that record back when teams were in the eye.
Yeah.
And it was just one hole just to run through, or it wasn't there. So I mean, that's an amazing record to literally stand, I guess, for over almost 70 years.
Yeah, 68 years.
68 years, that record, and finally it took Malachi to break it. But I mean, let me make sure you get a few specifics here. Is that single season or accumulation of?
That is single season. That is single season record.
Now, what was the number for Bobby?
His single season rushing record, it was 2,181 yards.
2,800 and how many?
2,181.
2,181 yards. Wow. So, how close was Malachi last year? Did he get close last year?
He got close last year, I'm pretty sure. I don't know the exact yardage, but we were thinking he was going to break it, and he just stopped just short.
Just short. Gotcha. Now, I don't know, because it looks like you guys have done amazing research. I mean, Mr. Wilson was so excited about the articles y'all were writing. Back then, how many games did he do that record in?
10.
Oh, it was 10.
They went 10-0.
Okay, so that means that Malachi broke it in the same number of games.
Yes.
That's awesome. Because I didn't know. I didn't know if it was like a 7-game season, a 6, but
yeah, Babe Ruth, Roger Maris kind of deal.
Yes.
Where Roger played 162. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Good reference
Oh,
there.
of
I love
course.
that reference. You got way. You should do this, Joe. I'm just being your guest. That was awesome. That's an awesome reference there. But yeah. So he did it in 10 games. Now, did they go on to the playoffs, or was there no playoffs?
They went undefeated that season. They went 10-0 and played Donaldson in the Junior Christian Bowl.
Okay, Junior Christian Bowl. Okay,
yeah, and won 20-6.
26. So that means. So what that means now is both Malachi and he have both played 11 games.
Yes.
Was this his senior year?
No. This was his senior year, and that counted as his 10th game.
Okay. So now Malachi's played 11. Okay, so now, well, that's awesome. Now, there's so much more about this guy. I mean, he was that his senior year, 54?
Yes.
Okay, then he goes to University of Tennessee?
Yes, he goes to the University of Tennessee with Dean Fisher and Ralph Broyles to join Ed Cantrell and Bill Johnson.
Okay.
5 Sparta-born people to play for a nationally recognized college football team.
That's amazing. And the SEC?
Yes.
In the SEC. Now, that wasn't for General Nealon, though, right?
No.
Who was that? Who was the coach at that time?
That coach, his name escapes me. I think it was 2 removed after Nealon, whoever that would have been.
Okay, 2 removed from Nealon. Okay, was it like Bobby? No, I can't. I remember Coach Wilson or Mr. Wilson said it yesterday, but I can't remember exactly the name. But still, and of course, that also means if that was in the 50s, was that may have been like during the Jordan Hare era of Auburn, Bear Bryant of Alabama. Yes. Some amazing, legendary SEC coaches.
Just the greatest SEC coaches of that whole century.
Kind of the golden era, or like the first golden era for Southern football. For a while, it's actually, there's an interesting story about the University of Alabama. I think it was in the 1800s, and it was an all-boys school. Mm-hmm. And there's this legend, if you go there, well, it's not a legend, it's a true story. There's this building there, and if you go in there, one day the boys, it was like almost like a military type school, and they locked themselves in, and they asked, okay, what are your demands? They wanted 2 things. They wanted to have girls on campus, they wanted to have girls as students, and they wanted to have football. And the guy, whoever was over talking to them, was like, okay, look, we can work on maybe having girls and guys in the school, but we'll never have football because football is a northern tradition.
Oh, that's absurd.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So, there was a time when it didn't look like football would even become a thing. And then, in the South, and then all of a sudden it came along, and then eventually barriers were broke. And of course now, when you think major college football, a lot of it's in the South.
Yeah, the number 1 team, number 3 team, number 6 team, number 10 team, all playing against each other this weekend.
3 is Tennessee 3 right now?
They are 1 in
That's
the
right.
playoffs.
One of the playoffs. What I was saying, I was like, I thought they were number 1 or 2 right now. And they're playing Georgia today. That's a big game in Athens. Whew, be a big game tonight. But it's crazy to think that at one time it was looked at as the exact opposite. Yeah. So to bring this back full circle, Bobby played in you might almost say the breaking the stereotype era of when football in the South began to become really popular. Yeah,
Army and Navy, Notre Dame kind of faded back as the SEC kind of just started to surge up and up to where they are today.
Yeah, it's interesting when you talk about Army football. One of the things you wonder, well, how did they dominate this era? That in Army football, they were one of the first college football teams to platoon. So in theory, back in the day, you had you might play 17 players total because you kept your stars in both ways. Army was the first to say, you know what, if we play 11 on offense and 11 on defense and maybe sub them some, a player rested that's average might beat a tired superstar. Yeah. But it's little things like that it seems common sense now, wasn't back then. So this was all happening in this era that Bobby was playing in. So, that's amazing. So, a lot of smaller towns and smaller places, were small is relative, by the way. But a lot of these smaller towns, they didn't think we could support football or have big time football. So they were all basketball towns.
Yeah.
Just huge into basketball. So, Bobby was also probably setting that tone too.
Yeah.
Helping to make football even bigger and bigger here in Sparta. The story, now, okay, I got another story. And I think Mr. Wilson told me about this yesterday. I'm hoping you know the story too. There's a story about Bobby being mentioned in California.
Okay, so Bobby Price was timed for the nation's lead in touchdowns that season with Dick Bass from Vallejo, California.
Okay.
He had 37 touchdowns that season.
Okay.
And just incredible.
Right.
Imagine scoring 37 touchdowns in 10 games. He had 224 points accounted for, which shattered the Tennessee record that was held by Johnny Majors.
Right. That's crazy. I mean,
Can you imagine leapfrogging Johnny Majors?
In my football career, I was proud that I once picked up a fumble. So that was yeah, that's right.
That was
our center fumbled the ball. I was the guard that pulled. I looked down. There's the ball. Bam. So 37 touchdowns? No, that seems way out of mind. I got to touch the ball at one time. Yes, I did do that and made a tackle against Westview. I had a few little blocks, but yes. So no, I can't imagine 37 touchdowns. So he's tied for the nation's and keep going.
Okay, and just there are so many facts. I sat in Mr. Wilson's office for an hour and a half and just listened to all these things. And we even called one of his former teammates, H.L. Kirby, 88-year-old man, remembers all this stuff like it was yesterday.
Wow.
Just gave us all this stuff and talked about just what kind of player he was compared to Malachi.
Right.
Because he was talking about how he broke Bobby's record, and apparently Bobby, he would just weave in and out.
Okay.
Malachi goes straight up the gut and runs through. He said Bobby would just run sideline to sideline, weave in and out. And it got him all conference, all Upper Cumberland, all Mid-State, all Tennessee, all South, all American.
Wow. But now, to go back to another story, supposedly this guy or he had just either tied the guy from Sparta or Bobby or something, but Bobby's name was mentioned at this high school game in California,
really?
Correct? Yeah, Mr. Wilson was okay. So you don't know that.
No.
So Mr. Wilson was telling me that what happened was when the guy from California either broke the record or when he tied the record, there was a guy from Sparta that had been visiting like folks or something over there in California. He's at the ball game, and they said such and such just tied the record of Bobby Price from Sparta, Tennessee. And the guy from Sparta was like, did they just say Sparta, Tennessee? Yes. So, Bobby's name was known all the way in a different time zone at a high school football game.
Thousands of miles away.
Yeah. I mean, how crazy is that, right? But, I mean, that's part of the story. And those same guys would end up going to UT and all these different things. So, it's such a rich tradition that a lot of people don't. It's interesting, and this is one of the things why I love journalism. A lot of times you'll never know how cool the present is until you go back and get context.
Yeah.
Get that context. It's one of those things interesting. I was talking to folks when I was first here, and I was talking about girls soccer, and they were like, yeah, we've had a team, 4 or 5. They're like maybe 7 or 8 years. I said, actually, this is season 27.
Wow.
And they're like, we've had it for 27. I'm like, yes, we've had girls soccer here at White County High School for 27 seasons. So, I mean, until you understand, if you don't look at history, you won't understand context and how important certain events are. But yeah, here's these two players separated by decades, and yet they have this one connection now. That 68 years later, he finally broke that record. And the jerseys. They're probably modern. They're definitely modern. The equipment's modern, but it's still Warriors. It's still maroon and gray. It's still, was it?
It was maroon and gray. It's funny you say that. The pants were maroon and gray checkered plaid.
Wow.
Please look at the Expositor auto.
Absolutely. I'm telling everybody to go and look at this.
Yeah. It's hilarious. They look like rodeo clowns.
Okay, I got you. But see, back then that was cool.
Everybody liked it.
Yes. Well, how ironic then. Okay. Crazy fact here. How ironic that the game Malachi breaks it The very next game, we have a checkerboard end zone.
I know it. I know it.
How neat is that? Almost like on accident. And Coach Frazier.
Stars just line up.
And Coach Frazier, by the way, did a great job with that. Him and the coaching staff getting that ready. I mean, that staff loves those kids.
Oh,
they pour their heart into those kids. It's just the field looked amazing, the crowd looked amazing, but the field just looked.
The checkerboard was incredible.
It looked incredible, and so. But how ironic that it connects to that in its own little coincidence way. That now, but still, again, may have been different designs, different things, but it was still White County Warriors. It was this pride, that same team, that same tradition, and now here we are, decades later, and our boys are going to the second round of the playoffs. Right? I mean, how big is that? Which, by the way, we've got two of them, and they're in the wing right now, waiting to come on. But we'll get to them in just a minute. But well, that's awesome. Now, what else was in? Well, I'll tell you. Now, where can you see it? It's in the Expositor,
It's
correct?
in the Expositor. It'll come out in the Spartan Voice, I believe, next week.
Okay.
I believe next week we'll put it in the Spartan Voice, but it was in the Expositor's issue on Thursday.
Okay. Now, there's somebody else y'all are working on now.
We are working on Will Little.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, was he the center?
Yes.
He was a center. So it's going to be so cool to get this kind of information. And this,
Joe Little.
Joe Little, okay.
His son is Will.
So it's going to be so cool to get this history that y'all are digging in the books for and everything. I tell you what, you or other from the club, y'all got to come back. Y'all,
I'd love to come back as much as you'll have me.
Well, listen, if you want to come on every week, we'll have a segment just for you. Well, we will. I mean, seriously. Because I think what this does is it not only, because there are people who are going to see this in town, they're going to buy a paper, but there are other folks that this may be the one medium maybe they live in a different state, maybe whatever, and they're glancing on Facebook and all of a sudden they see the show. This is a kind of a medium for them to kind of, it almost like you might say as an appetizer for the real article, right? Because obviously we didn't mention everything in the article. There's way more. So this might be a cool way to work with each other on this. So, well, that's awesome. Well, Sam, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Please
come anytime you want to come. Anytime you want to come, let me know that week. I'll make sure we have a section set up for you and everything, and we'll go from there. So, Sam, thank you so much, and good luck with the club. And so, thank you so much. Sam Dykes, everybody.
Real quick shout out, Coach Tyler Thompson, baseball. He wanted me to rep the team.
Before you leave, now I've been seeing you guys. Y'all are already throwing. You're getting your arms ready. I'm sorry, I got so into the paper. Y'all are throwing. Y'all are already throwing. You're ready. It seems like he's just excited about the season.
Oh, he is. He is so excited. He's with it. Him and his assistants. I love him. I love him. This is our first year under him. He thinks good things will happen. I think good things will happen too.
Yeah, and now you also sometime you've got to do an article about the Ulysses. What's the head coach in the Ulysses Graham? Is that right? The field's named after a guy named
Ulysses. Come on now. I sit there and I look at it every day. Cully.
There you go.
Yeah,
yes. You'll have to definitely do a story about that because I've heard there's there's 2 or 3 different people that were brothers or something like that, and he was a big part of that tradition.
And Tillman,
yeah. So
the Coolies are a big deal.
I can't wait to hear about that story. I can't wait to hear. Now, but no, we'll definitely have baseball. We'll have in the spring. We'll have the head coach on, and then we'll have all the seniors come on. Throughout the season, we'll get them all on. We've already looked at plans for that, kind of putting the calendar out there. So, but no, I can't wait to watch some Warrior baseball. Of course, I say can't wait. That's in the spring. So we got we got basketball. We got football still going on.
Oh yeah.
Then we got basketball, but we will get to baseball here soon enough. Can't wait to watch. Can't wait to watch you guys play out there. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and you can't wait to just. It's just so neat to meet new tradition after new tradition, new team after new team, and so. It'll be here soon enough. But thank you for reminding me. I'm sorry, I got so interested in the paper that I really forgot about that. But no, so now what position do you play?
I'm center fielder.
Center fielder, and you're a sophomore, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool beans. So, all right, so center field. We can't wait to talk more about that a little bit later on. All right, Sam, good to have you on here. Yep, absolutely. Come on anytime. Sam Dykes, everyone, Warrior baseball player and the Spartan Voice paper. So, really glad to have him on the show today. He was super excited when he got here. And just getting to talk about the history, tradition, and love for White County, and it's just wonderful. So, all right, so next, We've got two young men here from our playoff-winning football team. Y'all welcome Braxton Jeevers. Well, is that right? Sievers. I'm sorry, I wrote it. Yeah, okay, my bad. I wrote that right down. And Angelo Cheney, right? Y'all come on. Okay, wait a minute. So I put on here with a J. It's Sievers? Yes, Sievers. I'm so sorry. I can't believe it. I had it written down or ready to go. That's actually a reference from another episode. I wrote some city's name down wrong. It's all right. Either way, huge win last night. Before we get to that, tell the fans a little bit about yourselves. So, seniors, both of you seniors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in what positions?
I play receiver.
Receivers?
I play receiver.
Okay. So, huge game last night. What numbers, by the way?
I'm number 2.
Number 2?
Number 25.
Number 25. Okay. So, huge game last night. Huge implications. I didn't realize that was I knew we hadn't been in the playoffs in a little bit, but I didn't realize that that's one of the very few times, if ever, we've been in the second round of the playoffs. Like that this will be our first time to be in the second round of the playoffs.
It was the first one.
Is it ever?
That's what I've heard.
Okay, yeah. Before the TWS playoff era.
Yeah.
Because there was a time, like we were talking about with Bobby Price, where they went like 10-0 and they played in a bowl game, but they went like the playoff era. So we're in uncharted territory here. It's huge, right? So, amazing game last night. Now, for you seniors, there was also kind of an added, you might say, not motivation, but an added wrinkle to y'all's history. You've played some of these seniors before, correct?
In the 8th grade championship.
Yeah, so, they knew that, I'm sure. Y'all knew that. So, you've seen these guys, and at that time, I don't think Warrior football was, obviously they weren't going to the playoffs, they were doing different things. So, at that time, losing them 8th grade year, how did you, if I had told you you'd be in the same scenario at 8-2 playing that same team your senior year, what would y'all say? Would y'all believe that?
I don't know, this is all crazy.
You're right, I'm sure every class feels like, we can be the class. We can be the one to turn around. But, it's one thing to say that and think that, but to actually see it happen, that's a whole nother ball game. So, and again, I've talked so much this season on this show about watching you guys go from, like last year, I think we had a winning season, right? And we won a lot of ball games, racked up a lot of yards rushing, but the mentality it was a winning mentality, but not a championship mentality. And watching y'all develop that now has been amazing. It's been an amazing journey to watch. You got people in the stands almost crying because they're just so happy for you guys.
Yeah.
They're all over Facebook just like, I'm so proud of these young men for what they've become. The community has just rallied behind you guys. That's got to make y'all feel good. Something huge. There are thousands of teams that will never get to experience what y'all are doing, and that's having that championship mentality, getting to go to the second round of playoffs. I know when I was in high school, we never went to playoffs ever. We were close my senior year, but didn't quite make it. And a lot of teams not only don't make the playoffs, but they don't get past the first round. Because at that point, everything's super serious. There's no more teams that are not balanced with this or not balanced with that. You've got to be.
There's only 16 teams left.
That's 6 in the whole state. There's 16 5A teams left. And there's some good teams that are sitting at home now. For instance, Green Hill lost last night. Green Hill lost, let's see here, 48-21 to Page. So, they're done. Mount Juliet did survive. They won their game 43-6 over Lincoln County. I think the other team that was in our region, Wilson Central, they're done, right? So, that's 2 teams, Green Hill and Wilson Central, they're done. And those are good football teams. We lost both those teams. Wilson Central. Yeah. Wilson Central and Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet survived, and then Wilson Central, they're done. Right? And so, that's at least one team that, we lost to, and they're no longer playing when we are. So, how crazy is that, right? But huge game last night. I'll be honest with you. First drive, score a touchdown, we get a pick, come back down. Honestly, and I know this has probably happened to you guys, do either one of y'all have any doubt at any point in the game? I mean, the way it seemed like it started.
Yeah.
The way
we got off to a really good start.
y'all got off to a really good start. There's a few times like, oh, they might make it close, or please play right. I just didn't. I mean, I felt like the momentum was just you guys.
That
But
on defense was huge on their first drive.
yes, it was huge. So let me ask you this much: what? I mean, obviously it's a playoff game. What? But here's the thing: I've also watched y'all start games not that fast or not that focused. What created laser focus this week for you guys?
Well, it was just, I mean, it's win or go home.
True.
Us seniors have all been playing together since we were little kids.
Right.
So we're just not ready for it to end.
Gotcha. What was it for you two, just individually? What was the moment? What moment this week made you think we got this? This game. We're going to win this. Was there ever a moment like that this week where
when we came to the youth field, I think for them, big thing for the community.
Gotcha. So tell me more about that. I saw that on Facebook, and I saw like y'all were having like y'all had a practice, y'all ran up the hill. What was now? Just tell me the history about that.
Well, I'm not sure, but I know Braxton played.
So, well, wait, what about it?
Like, what's the story behind that? Is that where y'all used to practice?
Well, we used to play there. That's
Okay.
where all of our seniors used to play, and Coach Mike and Coach JJ.
Okay.
That's where they coached us throughout all of our years in youth league at the
Youth
field.
league. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I got you. Okay, I didn't know what the context was.
So they wanted to go back to where it all started, and we did a walkthrough there.
Now, how many of the 26 seniors played on that field as well as a group?
I mean, there's a good number. I'm not sure the exact number, but yeah, there's a pretty good number of us.
Gotcha. Now, how many years have y'all both played for White? Did you move into White County or?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many years have you played for White County?
So you start my 8th grade year.
Sorry, your 8th. So you kind of came in with all that. Where gotcha. Cool beans. Now, what about you? Did you just the whole time?
Yeah. My whole
Okay.
life.
Gotcha. How many years y'all played football?
I want to say it's my 10th or 9th year.
Not the 10th year. Okay.
I'm not sure since ever you could sign up for it.
Okay, I gotcha. So, man, and it's, of course, again, the opportunity I've got here is so huge, and it's so cool just to see the community, the band, the cheerleaders, the crowd, just getting hyped up for you guys. I mean, I've got friends back in West Tennessee that are like, man, I've heard White County's doing really good. I'm like, they are doing really good, right? People are hearing about y'all throughout the state. I mean, there were people heard about White County a little bit, back home. You hear a little rumblings about Malachi, but now they're like, no, that White County team is doing good. I'm like, I know, and I'm here for it, right? So I'm here for it. So, all right. So you two, y'all's personal journey. What was the moment for each of you that y'all felt like this could be a special team?
I want to say after the station camp game.
Station camp game. Okay. That was a huge one. Over there with the bison over there, the maroon and gray. So another kind of maroon and gray, right?
Yeah.
So what was just the game itself, or was there a certain moment?
I think, what I heard was everyone said, oh, they're such a good team, and I just seen, we were just a lot better.
Right. Gotcha.
We really had it.
Gotcha. What's been your favorite moment this season, do you think?
Probably in Cookville.
Okay, but that's always that's always been a big thing. What about you? What was your moment that you felt like this team was going to be a special team, not just a good team, but a special team?
Like this year?
This season, yeah.
I'm not sure.
So many great moments, right?
Yeah.
So many great moments, right?
We've just all been together for so long, so I've just always been hoping we'd be good, but
Right, hoping right.
But yeah, we've all same coaches, mostly same team throughout our whole lives, basically.
Right. Well, something that's kind of that I've noticed too. Mm-hmm. So I come to White County for first time I've been here, and of course, doing girls soccer, a lot of times I've always wanted to be involved with football, like filming, which I do. I clip the film. I walk in, meet you guys the first time. Y'all are in summer, getting ready. And what I can tell you is it's kind of an interesting fact. I walked in the locker room. In the summer, y'all are goofing around, y'all are having fun. What's it been like watching the locker room culture changed? Because it's been like, at first it was a lot of just messing around and laughing, but like you walk in now and it's like serious. Still fun, but I'm saying like, we've got a job to do. We don't have time to do something silly over here. I mean, like, what's that been? I mean, what's that been like for you guys? Watching that locker room just change right before your eyes.
It's been good because there was at the beginning of the season there was a lot of goofing around. It was mainly from like a bunch of younger classmen now.
Right, I got you.
And we just had to get it in their head that we were here for a bigger thing than just winning a few games this year.
And that's so hard to get, especially younger players to understand.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, I'm telling you, there's a lot of teams in 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, all the way through 6A, and Division 1, Division 2. They're not playing right now. They had a fun season, but they're still not playing. They're done, right? You know, it's one of those things I tell like my soccer team, you may only get certain shots in a game or in a season. You've got to try to take those shots. And just watching y'all do that, take your shot, take this, get a 2-point conversion opportunity, you take it. So, right, you know, you just watching y'all do that. Has it sunk in how special? I think it's one of those things where it may be years from now, looking back, that you realize how special that was. So, and I guess it also probably feels like, does it feel like it's flying by, or does it feel like it's just kind of a moment in time?
Yeah, I feel like there's no way that we're in the second round of playoffs in my senior season right now.
It's flown by.
Right. You're like, oh wow. I mean, like, and what's crazy is you could have a regular week of practice, and then you know, one bad play, and all of a sudden that's it. Or you could play 4 more weeks or 3 more weeks. Here's the crazy part: in a couple of weeks, in theory, we beat Nolensville, beat whoever's next. You could be playing the day after Thanksgiving. Crazy. Have you ever thought about that? The day after Thanksgiving, that's what high school has done for years in Tennessee. So they try to tell them, you know, get something. And there's always usually, for a lot of high schools, they'll have a Thanksgiving Day practice. It'll usually be in the morning, like at 8 a.m., kind of a walkthrough, and then they'll be like, okay, don't eat too much. And then they'll have to play football the next day, right? Like on Black Friday, right? So everybody else is going out shopping for an iPad or for some basketball or who knows. Y'all are sitting there watching film, making sure you know what spot to be in, where to bracket, what route to run, right? I mean, it's only for a certain group. It's only for certain teams that get to have that privileged experience, but it also comes with a lot of pressure, and it comes with just a lot of just surreal moments. But man, y'all looked like y'all were up for the challenge last night. Y'all played well. The focus was there. When something went wrong, okay, fine, move on. Go with it. So
I feel like we're really focused this week during practice.
I think so, absolutely. Now, Nolensville. Now, I don't know much about Nolensville. I know I'm, of course, kind of still new to this area, but I've heard of them having some good football in the past. Have y'all? Is there any film y'all traded film already?
I haven't watched any yet.
Gotcha.
But, they're a pretty good football team, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'd say they're in the second round. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're 11-0 right now after last night.
Okay. Yeah, they did beat Wilson Central. Now, to be fair though, like when we played Wilson Central, you know, obviously we didn't have everybody there that day. There were some injuries and stuff, but still putting up 41 points on Wilson Central is still a little daunting, right? I mean, the fact they could run the ball, throw the ball that well, and they only held Wilson. Well, Wilson only put up 3 points on them. They had a big running attack when they played us. They were just downhill. I think they were split backs, right? Just going right downhill. So, but I mean, in some ways though, that may have been one of our worst games. So, like, I feel like we could have done the same thing to them if scenarios were different. Yeah. All healthy players, us at home, probably could have done the same thing. It's just one of those games. And that's what makes it so, not daunting, but just so, I guess, when you're playing this level of football, any week, some team is thinking, why not us? Okay, so here's Big Bag White County. Well, we're going to beat you. We're thinking we're going to beat you. And they happen to get the win that night.
Yeah.
Next week we came back, won. But at this level, especially you start going towards the playoffs, it's like there's only one spot for 2 teams. And you have to have that mentality every week that if we don't do our best, this could be it. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. So Nolensville. Now let's see, where is Nolensville?
Nashville, like a suburb.
Okay, like a suburb of Nashville. Okay. So may have to get a charter bus, I guess, this week. So make sure we're there on time and everything, right? So how fun has that been to go get on a charter bus and go to the park, do a walkthrough? We've done that has it been 3 times this season or twice?
Yeah, it's 33.
2-3 times there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Get a little Chick-fil-A before, right. So and it's fun because it's a semi-relaxed atmosphere, but it's also, hey, we got to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, like you're getting off at this park and doing that. So huge game against Nolensville. Have y'all ever been a part of a White County team that's played Nolensville in anything?
No, not that I know.
Do y'all play any other sport, by the way? Okay,
just
football. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so no real experience playing them in anything else right now. Okay,
No,
but you're fixing to. Yeah, you're fixing to.
Next week.
Yeah. So, but you were going to say something. I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
I was trying to say something about Nolensville. Oh, well, yeah, it was like, the only thing I remember of them is like 2 or 3 years ago, whenever we weren't, you know how we weren't like a district.
Right. Yeah. There was a year or two where we weren't playing in postseason.
Yeah, it was like a rebuild kind of.
Right.
Whenever the state playoffs was going, I went to I think Nolensville was in 6A at the time, and I went to the 6A state championship, or it was like a playoff game. It was like the semi, and Tullahoma was playing Nolensville.
Okay.
That was a really good game. I think Nolensville won that game by like it was like a touchdown, because I remember. Nolensville won because who did I say they played? Tullahoma. Yeah, they were in a Hail Mary in the last play. I still have a video on my phone of it.
Wow, there you go. So, and what's crazy is you went from that era where we weren't playing in a region to now you're in the second round of the playoffs. I mean, how crazy is that, right? So, that's
crazy.
Yeah. Well, so what colors? Do you know what the colors are?
White and blue.
White and blue. Okay.
Since they're home, they'll probably have a white helmet, blue jersey.
There you go. Okay, I got you.
White and blue.
It's no maroon and gray, but that's all right. Well, that'll be fun. All right. Well, I know the crowd. I know White County is going to travel because they've traveled all year long. They're all behind you. They love you guys. They're so proud of you guys. You represent us so well, and it's just a lot of fun to watch you guys. So either way, appreciate you guys coming on the show. I mean, we're proud of you guys. The town loves you. The county loves you. We're all rooting for you guys. And I can't wait to see you on Friday. Anytime you guys want to come back on the show, love to have you on the show. And appreciate you guys coming out. So, wait, make sure I get this right now. Braxton Sievers.
Yes, sir.
And Angelo Cheney.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you guys on the show, and good luck this week. Stay prepared. Make sure you stay focused in class. All right, so take care of that, and try to just embrace it and just live it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for being on the show, guys.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. Absolutely. All right. So that was Braxton Sievers and Angelo Cheney, and as they prepare to play in the second round of the TWSAA 5A football playoffs. So we will be traveling to Nolensville this next week for that, and it sounds like just a huge times for Warrior football and for White County in general. So here in the next few weeks, we'll start previewing basketball a little bit, but also we're going to be finishing up football season. Hopefully football will last another maybe 4 weeks, so we'll see. But for sure, we'll be playing at Nolensville this Friday. I do know that girls' soccer banquet is going to be this week on Thursday. Also on Thursdays, there's the opportunity for younger kids. There's a Warrior Soccer Academy that Coach Hastings is hosting at the middle school, at the high school field, which is at the middle school. That's for kids, I believe, ages 5 through 12. So any kid interested in that, please come on out. It's free of admission, and he's just in there working with the young kids and kind of going through, like, I guess you might say, a training, just a training camp type thing, working on skills. That goes from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. So, and we also, of course, got middle school basketball, elementary school basketball. I think is winding up. I think they end tonight. I think their tournaments tonight, but y'all go out and support them. It's just exciting times here at White County, and can't wait for this next week. So we'll see you guys. If we don't see you before then, we'll see you on Friday in Nolensville. Have a great day and have a great weekend. God bless, and go White County.